Hello and welcome to the back roads. We're once again here at LUDEN Automotive, and today we're giving the Porsche 944 some love. It's so close to being ready for the road. So today we're going to be doing some pre-MOT tidying up, and we're also going to walk you around what we've done off camera so you're all up to date on all of the welding as well as some of the other bits we're going to be doing to this car very soon. We don't know if it's going to be on camera, but we're going to at least let you know. So I think let's start with a little bit of a tour. So the first thing that we've done is you'll notice that the engine bay is a hell of a lot cleaner. I came up here one of the days during the week, a couple of weeks back, and made sure that the entire engine bay was nice and clean, because obviously it's getting ready for the road, so we want to be able to spot any leaks, any sort of coolant, oil, that kind of stuff. And speaking of coolant, there is some spots underneath the car here, but we don't know if another car has been on this ramp. So we'll investigate to see if it is the 944 that's having the coolant problems. If it is, wow, amazing. If not, then all good. Lovely stuff.
Wow, amazing, but more infused. If it's all good, it's wow, amazing, but more infused.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so those of you that are joining Project 944 kind of on the later part of the adventure, we'll just talk you through some of the stuff we've done to the engine. So we bought this car back in 2019. And quite frankly, it was a bit of a mess. We bought it for £4,600, and it basically has only done 200 miles in my ownership. So it hasn't gone very far, but the good news is that everything that could go wrong is pretty much replaced. So to give you some idea, we have replaced the timing belts, because that is arguably the most important thing you can do on the 944, particularly if you don't know the last time it's been done. Most cars will come with their service history and they'll let you know, but generally speaking, either it's every 2 years that the car's been standing or not being used correctly, or every 30 to 40,000 miles. Normally every 35,000 miles people do the change. That is very, very short, but ultimately, because it's an interference engine, you need to make sure those belts don't break. So that's one thing we did. We also, if you come into here, we also changed the water pump while the timing belts were being done. This hose has been replaced by us, mainly because it was pretty cracked and it was leaking before. We've also fixed a temperature sensor problem. So basically, long story short, if we have the fuses in, our radiator fans would never turn off. And it turned out to be the temperature sensor on the radiator that was causing that problem. We have replaced the HT leads, the spark plugs, the distributor cap. We've also cleaned this up, so this now has a new gasket and I think, is it stem seals? Oil ring seals? Stem seals? Oil ring seals, something like that. We've replaced those inside the rocker cover as well, so that's great. This has all been cleaned up because this was a mess before, so it's looking somewhat presentable, which is fantastic. Aside from that, that's the majority of the engine work done. The only other thing engine/transmission based that we need to do is the clutch, and we've got a new one coming this week. So that's pretty good. Aside from that, I'm trying to think what else. Have we done anything else to the engine bay that I've missed?
Not necessarily engine bay. We've done some bits near the engine bay, but not engine. So clutch, sleeve cylinder, we did.
Yep. And obviously we flushed all the fluids.
Yep.
And changed that.
All new fluid for brakes and clutch.
Yep.
I think
that's it, isn't it?
Yeah.
The only other thing is, if I'm going to steal the camera off of Jared, is we have discovered, now that our lights are going up properly, and apologies, you're probably not going to be able to see very well into there. Go on, is it going to focus? So down there, that is a very, very bad rust patch, and you can put your finger through that. So that's not ideal, that's new. And it's in a really odd location as well, so that's not fantastic. Obviously around the back, we've still got the crash damage. Now, this shouldn't really be an MOT failure per se, because it's not exactly like it's detrimental to the car. It's just, it's there, it's an eyesore. I think we've got one brake light to get working, haven't we?
Yeah, when Liam took it for a test run after we'd done the slave cylinder, I think
So, yeah.
We did a lot of overhaul work that Liam talked about earlier with the engine. When we finished all that, we took it for a run around, which I think might be episode 6 or 7 of Project 944. But yeah, we noticed one of the brake lights was out, where it's probably got water in it because it's currently taped up.
Exactly. So And if you can hear that, it's because we've got Spitfires.
There's a Spitfire being chased by a helicopter. It's been going around all day, and it's not too bad a noise to be bothered with for filming.
Yeah, so we would normally complain about a noise like that, but because it's a Spitfire, we're not.
It's been going around for hours. It's been going around for like hours.
Yeah,
like since we got here at like 11.
So it's been what, 3 hours that's been going around?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been quite a while. So this needs to be done. This panel needs to be replaced because you can see it's been, with the impact from the Hilux, it's been bowed here. So this shutter doesn't shut properly, which is annoying. And then obviously we've got down here, we've got the damage to the fiberglass, so that needs to be gone to a fiberglass specialist. You've got the bump here, and it's all been shifted over. So it's quite a lot of work to do on the rear end here. But on the plus side, we'll get this up on the ramp in a minute. That has all been fixed. You'll remember that in one of the episodes there was quite a big hole there, so that's good. And then I'm pretty sure that's the majority of the stuff that we can show from the outside. So now we'll get it up on the ramp and show what on the underend. Yep, there we go. So another thing I thought that we could do is we've actually got some stickers on this side of the car to show like the brand Instagram account, but we haven't got the logo because the logo's on the other side. So I'm wondering if we should do another one because, you know, all the little helps. But wait. Oh God. Oh God, please, no, no, no. Okay, so let's start the front of the car. Let's start with the ball joint. So many of you will remember from previous episodes, this ball joint was absolutely buggered. That is now fixed. And a lot of people say you can't fix this style of ball joint. You can, it's just not easy to do at home on your driveway. You need very specialist equipment to press it in correctly. So fortunately, because of where we are, we've got some amazing people around here that are always willing to help. And that would not have been possible without them, because otherwise you'd be looking at probably an £800 new wishbone. So 40 quid job instead, all done. Now, basically, just before we started filming, we obviously told about the coolant here. And the concerning thing is there does seem to be coolant residue here and here, which is worrying because obviously that means that it potentially we've got an issue elsewhere. I mean, there's a lot of fluid leaking from this, but I'm pretty sure that's meant to be power steering fluid, not coolant. So we may have 2 leaks somewhere. We'll have to keep an eye on it. Fortunately, as long as we're not losing like loads of coolant, I think we can just continue to top it up and we'll sort that at a later date, which is good. So if you follow me to the rear, obviously we've topped up the gearbox oil and replaced it. We have actually got over in the corner there, Porsche corner now that it's actually been tidied up. We have got another litre because we found out we were missing 0.5 from what we put in. So we've got to put another half a litre in there. Obviously the rear end's been cleaned up a little bit, which is fantastic. It means that, you know, it's not particularly grotty anymore. What else have we got? So fuel filter, that still needs to be done because at the moment it's held on by a coat hanger and that will not pass an MOT. So we need to make sure that gets done correctly. But the majority of the major work has actually been to the rear here. So Jonas, bless him, is an incredible guy, and he's actually fixed all of this welding. I'll try and put a clip up so you can see what it was like before, but he's fixed all of this panel, completely welded it himself, and to be honest, it's actually a pretty decent job considering. So it's even body color, amazingly, because we have a spare can of Baltic blue. So this has all been done, which is fantastic. That's no longer a problem. He's even got the weld lines, and that's had the proper coating put on underneath before he sprayed it body color. So amazing stuff that. The only other stuff that may need to be welded is obviously that bit in the engine bay. We're starting to see some of the filler that's obviously been put on the car over the years start to crack. This sill has been done pretty poorly, so this may need to be replaced, as well as the other side. Then we've got the rust on the front arches, but that's a normal place on any old car that's been kind of neglected to find rust. So that's not too much of a big deal, but you know, it's still going to be expensive to replace. And then frankly, the whole car actually needs a respray. So we haven't just got bodywork we need to do. The whole car, the paintwork is just not in good condition at all. So that's got to be done. But really, all we need to do in order to get the car ready for road testing and road service is the fuel filter, the rear lights, the clutch. I think that's it. It's pretty much ready to go. That is really exciting. So, good stuff.
We should remember this by now.
Yeah. We've done this so many times yet. We're always like, oh, battery. Help.
Big Sparky boy.
Yeah, big Sparky boy. Big scary Sparky boy. Yeah. Man does job for me. Yes.
Job.
I just hate electricity.
He just wanted me to die instead.
Yeah.
It's easier, which I appreciate.
There doesn't seem to be anything, does there?
No. I think it still is just your power steering fluid.
There's no way that that's power steering fluid though.
No, I don't think that's from your car.
You don't think that's from mine?
No. This is all just a normal crap that's leaking anyway.
Yeah, I suppose so.
I can't see anything pink.
I can.
Can you?
Yeah, over there.
Well, here?
Yeah. No, but behind that.
Yeah, I can't see anything. Oh no, it's leaking, yeah. I just saw it run down.
Is it from there?
This, yeah, here.
Right, okay. Right, well that's not great, is it?
9.
No. So we've clearly got another leak somewhere that needs to be resolved.
Very small leak. I
It's
think
a
it
very
is a
small-
top-up job, but...
Yeah, but the thing is that's going to persist, and I'd rather
Yes.
it not be an issue
Yes.
in the first place. So my guess is that the new water pump that was installed, maybe the gasket didn't sit flush with the body correctly, or the body of the engine. So I'm wondering if it's that that's causing that.
Could perhaps be, or a 40 water pump part. I don't know.
I'll have to try.
It
Yeah,
looks water pump-ish.
it definitely looks water pump. So yeah, not great. Not great, but we'll investigate further, I suppose. So another thing that we actually found when we were looking through the spare parts boxes is actually a load. Well, that's going to slide off, isn't it? Let's put it there. A load of era books about the 944, 928, 968, 924. These are amazing. They're absolute gold mines. They have data and stuff in them that you just would not find on the internet today. I'm actually considering scanning these in and uploading them because some of the stuff in this, if you come here, basically this book here is a portfolio on all of the press and PR coverage the 944 got over in periods. So that would have been what, 81 to 91, 10 years. But there's also technical data. So you have adverts, you have articles written from in period, reviews. It's absolutely brilliant. I mean, if we start going back towards the look, there's even technical tests here on the car. It's incredible, the stuff that is in this book. Look at this. They've even got comparisons to the cars of similar performance of the era. That's not. Look how. I mean, an Audi Quattro was only $3,000 more than the base model 944. Just think about that for a moment. That is nuts. It wouldn't be like that today, I can assure you. But some of the stuff in here is amazing. The pictures and everything from in period is just nuts. This is probably my favourite book so far of everything that's here. We've got about 10 books. But I just wanted to show you some of these. There's like actual proper group tests. There was one in here with an Alpine GTA versus the 944S. There was also a 944 2.7 versus Jaguar XJS, which obviously a certain person who owns this sort of owns this workshop, will certainly be.
There's one there.
Yeah. There you go. So this. Look at the photography. I know it's all in black and white, but it's just brilliant. This is an absolute goldmine. It really, really is. And the interesting thing is that actually, when Luke had his Alpine GTA, we said we definitely wanted to put it up against the 944, but there's actually stuff here for it. They've even said, so the Renault's performance is a little bit better than the Porsche's. The Porsche's handling and ride is much better than the Alpines. Living with, they're both similar. Accommodation, both 3-star. Cost, both 2-star. It's absolutely fantastic. So if anyone is interested, oh, there's the Jaguar XJS one. If anyone is interested in me uploading these, if you're in the 944 groups or if you're interested, I will definitely do so. It may take me a while because there's a lot of pages to go through, but if there's ones of interest, I will definitely upload them because some of this stuff is an absolute goldmine that just doesn't exist on the internet. So I'm absolutely mental. And I haven't even looked through this one yet. I think it's all to do with the actual story and development of the 944. Yeah, it is. Look at this. I bet you there's information here that people just wouldn't have online. That's really cool. Whoa. That's really cool.
That's very cool.
That's awesome. Wow. Some of this stuff is absolutely fun. So that's made my day. That's absolutely brilliant.
This is all stuff from the previous owner.
Yeah, no, he's just collected it over the years. That is a gold mine, and we're definitely keeping a hold of that. There's also another like 10 books here with all this information.
We have the most valuable one.
The most valuable one, an original Haynes manual.
We've used this a few times.
The big thick ones, not the small flimsy ones you get these days. It has got absolutely everything you could possibly need to know in there. Very, very good find. It's just, that's a gold mine. I'm really happy with that. Okay, so now we've done all that, I think what we're going to do is actually just tidy up the interior of the car a little bit, because right now it's more for like a dump area for the parts, because obviously it's not being driven, which is going to change soon. So maybe what we'll do, I think I might put the battery on charge, because obviously the car's not being driven. That's a brand new battery, and I don't want that dying, because I've had like 3 batteries on this now.
Yeah, we did that before.
So I'm going to try and keep that charged up. And then over here, obviously the inside, at the moment we don't have a radio. For those that remember, we took the radio out. That is currently in the rear of the car. Do you reckon we'll buy a radio like that Sony system before it goes on the road, or should we do it afterwards?
That is a question for your finances, sir. We could do that. The problem is we need to look at the wiring, because it currently looks like
it's
they
got
have
Ford replacement.
Yeah,
wiring,
so it's possible, but we might have to get a Ford adapter for it, because
or alternatively just rewire the system properly.
Yeah, we should rewire the system for that, but we'll have to get some help for that.
Brad, if you're watching,
Brad is my MR2 sensei.
He is.
Who I have stolen for many jobs, and we need to steal him for the Porsche.
Yeah, possibly.
He's good at everything.
He's good at everything. So obviously, this is really cool, by the way. I haven't shown this before. This is an original Porsche Medical Kit.
None of that is going to be sterile anymore.
Oh, absolutely not. But it's cool to have. It's actually a proper little kit from the 80s. So obviously, unless you were like in dire need of it, I suppose.
This is for the 944 owners who go shooting with their Porsches.
Posh Porsches.
And actually shoot their friend
I can't fit
in
the
leg.
golf clubs in the back of the Porsche. But that's really cool to have, even if you never use it. It's lovely that the original parts of the car are there. Actually, another original part that I've got, which is at home, not here, is I've got the original Porsche tyre pump as well, which is very, very hard to find and very expensive.
Does it work?
It does.
Woo.
It's great.
I had a look once at buying a official Toyota seatbelt cutter that they spec'd on the MR2, the JDM MR2 sometimes. How much do you think it cost for the seatbelt cutter and the window smasher? You can get them for like a £5 on from Halfords.
50 quid.
How much for an official Toyota one? Nope.
More?
Yes.
75.
Nope.
Jesus. 120?
It was about 140, I think, for a £5
That's
part.
nearly as bad as Porsche tax.
Yeah, well, it's those things. It's like those little original things, like your toolkit. You've got your first aid kit, the pump. It's like those little tiny things which, if you have like an original low miles car, like the UK Spec Red 5 I sent you the other day, if you have all that stuff with it, the price goes up insane because you've got that originality, which helps this a bit. I mean, we're not keeping it. Well, I say you're not keeping it original. But it helps.
This is it. We're in kind of a dilemma because it's 150,000 mile 944 S2. There's much better examples in much better condition out there. So do we just say screw it to be in stock and just do something nuts with it? But because this is the argument. We're thinking, okay, do we want slightly wider body arches, or do we want to put the splitter on the front? Do we want the bridge spoiler from the 968 and that kind of stuff? I'm even considering 968 headlights, the rounder ones, and the 968 door handles. But I don't know. We're kind of in an opposition with this car. We may make it into kind of like an evolution of the S series, because technically the 968 is the 944 S3 by development standards. But we could make this into an S4, maybe something like that. Because mainly S4, because the 928 S4, there's a badge already for that, and there's not a 928 S3. So
that's the problem I have if I do the MR2 Evo project.
You need to find an Evo badge that looks
isn't ripping
decent.
off. That's not stolen from a Mitsubishi.
Yeah. So maybe that's what we'll do. We'll make this into kind of the UK's best 944 S2, maybe. That's
not Concours best. Though.
Not Concours best, but as in best build S2. Yeah. And that's not things like most power or fastest lap time. It will probably be best overall experience. Like, this is so cliche to say, but I suppose a Singer S2 in a way. It won't be Singer because I don't think they're really interested in that kind of stuff, and that'd be ludicrous.
And you don't have the money.
Oh no, never. But
Nut and bolt restoration.
There are some people we know that would probably be willing to work on a project with us like this. So. The only thing is they like to take things back to shells. So if we do this bodywork, it's going to be redone again. We'll see. But I definitely want to get all this interior retrimmed nicely. Instead of the plastic and vinyl door cards, I'd quite like for them to be retrimmed in leather properly. So that might be something we do. Maybe retrim the seats. So they'll look the same, but it will be fresh leather. Trim the dash in actual proper leather, because at the moment that's like a plastic vinyl, and
it's a bit cracked, which you can
kind of
slightly see.
Yeah, so it's not ideal, but that's just a part of the thing of owning a car that's done 150,000 miles and wasn't particularly looked after.
And it's what, 32 years old?
89. So 31. No. Yeah. 31.
2, I think.
So regardless, it's old. So not old in compared to a lot of classics, but it is an old Porsche. So we'll see what we can do with this, really. This is what I've got coming.
Nice.
So it should slot back into place again. It's actually staying in. It's staying in. This is amazing. This is the first time it's done this.
Cancel the order.
Cancel the order. Yeah, there we go. So that is it for today's episode of Project 944. It's so close now to being on the road, which is incredibly exciting. Also a little bit of nerves coming in there, but I think we're going to try and get this on the road within the month, and we may take it to its first car meet in over 2 years. So that's quite exciting, if anything. So be sure to stick around for that. If you haven't already, please do like and subscribe to the channel. All of your support is always greatly appreciated, especially with all of our projects. We've got some work on the BMW. We're going to try and do those brakes again. And then we've got the engine build for the MR2 probably coming up later this year as well. So very, very exciting stuff. If you haven't already and you would like one of these beautiful TBR stickers. They are currently on the website, £4.95 each, and I think around £1.70 max postage to the international. I think it's around £1.20 for the UK. If you want one, all of the funds go towards supporting these projects and more content in the future. So thank you ever so much for watching. Take care. We'll catch you in the next one.